Welcome to Black Space Live. Let's get ready for another show, y'all.
Black space is a place for us.
Real people with real issues.
Discussing real topics.
Black space.
A safe space for our community.
Greetings, Black Space world. This is your illustrious host, Network Neek. Once again, you can find me on Network Space Live on Facebook, TikTok, Network Neek on IG. And tonight, we're going to bring you some Black Space news. I believe my co-host is having a little bit of technical difficulty, so until she arrives, um, let's just get into it. We got a lot going on in not only in Black space but in the world at large, and we definitely want to tap into um, an opinionated view of what's going on from a critically thinking standpoint. But before I go any further, is she here? Yeah, let's go ahead and get my co-host in. Big Ish, what's going on this
Hi
evening?
guys. Hey Neek, thanks for joining me again. This is Big Ish, life coach, entrepreneur, decentralized banking. Let's do
All
this.
right. You know what I'm saying? See, repertoires are expanding. What y'all don't know is behind the scenes, a lot of work is being carved out so that we can bring you
Yes.
a better quality of show, and not only that, better quality guests, more value, and even having some live events coming to an area near you. So stay tuned for that. Good to see you, Big Ish. What an inspiration you are, doing great things in the world. You know that DeFi banking is definitely something of value, but even your life
Oh
coaching
yes.
is phenomenal. So folks got to get in touch with you when it comes to that, because I'm telling you, you definitely level me up several notches, several notches, and that's no lie, for real. Like, um not to go too far, but seriously, like, I've been struggling with the area of vulnerability. First, I was confused about what
hmm
vulnerability means and how to be vulnerable, and going to the extreme of just telling all my business, and it's like, no, that's not vulnerable, that's just transparent. Like, what does vulnerable really mean? And you really
Facts. Yes.
exemplified and showed me in real time, like, what it means and how much juice vulnerability has in walking in your purpose. And I want to thank you for that, like, just from the bottom of my heart, for real.
Absolutely. This is what I'm here for. And that's the whole point and purpose of building a tribe, especially having a life coach, a part of that tribe. It's all about your heart, your mental health, and ability to move forward because we all have the tools. We just have to unlock that. And vulnerability is a big step to that. It's just like how you have to conquer a fear. Fear can be attached to vulnerability, right? Because you don't want to be so open and so raw. Mixed feelings get into that and it get hurt. So I normally walk people process of like transmuting good energy and opening up and being vulnerable to heal.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Being vulnerable to receive, because a lot of times a lack of
yeah,
vulnerability will keep you from receiving what's yours, and what you know what I'm saying, what you've been asking for. And sometimes it's right there. You just got to be vulnerable enough to just open a door, like, it's beautiful. This journey is beautiful, and I'm glad to have you alongside of me as I, walk through it. You know what I'm saying? For real. That's
likewise.
for real. So, without further ado, let's get into these Trump indictments real quick. And you know, the
Yeah.
guy has been indicted, but my main question is, like, is it is anybody not disturbed by the fact that he's been indicted, I want to say at least twice now, and nobody
Mhm.
from Epstein's list has been indicted? Like,
There's a lot of lists of people that should have been indicted and nothing has ever happened and it got swept up under the rug, which raises like big red flags for me. Now you
yeah,
guys want to indict him, but not other the people who've done far more worse. I mean, a crime is a crime, but there are limits to it as well. And I'll just say that because everybody don't get penalized the same for their crimes. So I'm,
yeah,
I'm a little taken back and confused, and it makes you really like open your eyes and pay attention. What are you trying to for from? And what's the real story behind it all? So let's
yeah.
get into these thoughts and opinions about this indictment.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so he was indicted by the lady Fannie whoever in Atlanta, right? So she's indicted, Young
Mm-hmm.
Thug, and I think she got Rashad Jamal down there. She got Nature Boy, all in Fulton County Jail. And along with Trump being indicted and putting himself in there, we've had, I think, not
Mm-hmm.
we, but they've had, I think, seven killings in that jail just in a month's time or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Between 4 and 7. I know a young man just passed away um in that jail. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
you got people dying under your watch, and it just, I'm just wondering what are people preoccupied with right now that it's not, ringing some bells or setting some red flags off. Like, what is really going on in the system right
People are
now?
preoccupied with a folded chair right now. Like we should be focusing on more than what's going on in like the material world and celebrities' lifestyle. These are the main big distractions that we're not paying attention to. And you're right, too many people are dying in this one particular jail, which raises more red flags. Like no one wants to think and ask questions. You know what I mean? No one wants to push the authoritative people there and like, what's going on here? Why are these people coming into your establishment very much alive, but they're coming out in body bags? It's not making sense. And it also makes me think of Dr. Sabi as well. He was perfectly fine until he went to jail and mysteriously died. But those types of things are happening in our community and around our world, and no one is doing anything about it. It gets swept under the rug. Meanwhile, people like Epstein walk away and get away scot free, but Bill
Well,
Cosby had to serve time.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Epstein, he definitely died. Well, I don't know if he definitely died in custody, but he didn't. I'm not sure that he walked away, but um, they say he suicided himself while he was in there. But it's like, if his list is so damaging and has so many high profile people on there, who are these people and why haven't they been indicted or charged or anything like that? Like, we talking about people that harm children. To my understanding,
Yeah.
I don't believe that Trump has done any of these things. So it just
No.
goes with the hypocrisy of the quote unquote democracy that is questionable. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm wondering if, I guess it wouldn't make a difference if you had a team behind you or a good support system, because I mean, Trump would have one of the best, I would think. I'm sure he probably has some snakes in his camp though. So, but
Yeah, but when you fighting up against that 1% that's been like ruling the world and making all of those choices, then that makes it harder. It doesn't matter how many people you got behind you. If it's like playing chess, every piece has their own position that's able to maneuver however they're supposed to maneuver. He just don't have the right pieces on his board. And I'm not trying to say that in a bad way, but again, against that 1%, it's hard to fight up against them because they got some elite things going in over there. So
so do you think it's
unfortunate.
possible that if the people join together, because at this point I'm seeing people who are now coming through and admitting, like, listen, I shouldn't have voted for Biden. I don't know what I was thinking. They're seeing clearly now. Do you think
Mm-hmm.
if the people come together, it's still kind of hopeless because it's like, what can we do?
See, people come together. I feel like if someone comes together, we have to have a plan, stick to the plan, and execute that plan. And there's nothing against, peaceful protesting and marching and stuff, but we've done all of that before. We need a new game plan. We need a new united front. And that's just not what's happening. We're doing the same things and expecting better results, and we're just not getting them. So at this point in time, there just need to be a different plan with this unity that we have here, unless it's gonna be the same cycle we've been living in for years and years and years.
And Trump, I think from what I've learned from him, he has one of the best foundational setups when it comes to having a trust and, having his family set up and how he moves. It's like if they can penetrate him right now, then it's like
Mhm.
what we got coming. Like how it's almost like which direction do we go in? Because a lot of people are following that model, or not a lot of people, but people who are
Mhm. Mhm.
actually making villages and tribes are following the Trump model when it comes to solidifying their family and trusts and, privatizing
Trust.
um, family business and things like that. If they can penetrate that, then I think what they're showing us is anything, like nothing is infallible type of thing, And I don't want to say it kind
Mhm.
of it makes me feel hopeless, but it kind of does. You know what I'm saying? So
It's
I'm
like
not
being
looking.
taken two steps forward, I'm back five.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So big, big up. Shouts out to Uncle D, Uncle T, whatever you want to call him. Uncle Donnie. You know what I'm saying? Free my uncle and them.
Johnny,
You know what I'm saying? So, and I know
okay,
that's
put
how
it on
they.
a
That's
t-shirt.
almost. Yeah, it's like they wanna. What the society United States uplifts is so detrimental right now, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like in every area, not just with Donald Trump and what's going on with him, but it's like, that's how they tarnish you. They don't just assassinate you like they did JFK back in the day. They will kill your reputation so that you can't do anything. You can't have an impact anymore. You can't um have an impact on people's minds and transform their ways of thinking and enforce critical thought, which is a dangerous place to be in right now. And it's just unfortunate that the honest truth about it is a lot of our community contributed to this. So a lot of our community is going to have
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah,
kind of
playing.
redeem themselves by publicly acknowledging, okay, well, we strayed away and now we got to make a sharp right hand turn this next go round because they coming. I mean, look at Spike Lee and Tyler Perry. Who do you think really had the greater impact? Spike Lee uplifted people like Malcolm X. You got movies called, Do the Right Thing as a director and things like that. And then you got
Do the
Tyler
right
Perry.
thing.
Yeah, then you got Tyler Perry who you got Medea,
Medea.
and it's like, come on.
Medea.
I- I-
Yeah.
After the
And
first one,
one
it's
thing that
not
I
funny no
hate,
more.
and I can't stand how it was play. Look, it was played out in living color. If you ask me, like that was the last time where you get a laugh at it. It's when are we gonna move past this? And one thing that I hate is when they try to build down the good black men or black women in our society. And what I mean by that is why pin us Spike Larry? Why can't they both be just great? Why do we have to pin them up against each other and make them competitive? I mean, I would definitely, my personal opinion, I would pick Spike Lee again because of the message that he had in his movies. He had a purpose. He had something to show in the movie outside of a elderly woman in a muumuu dress carrying around a gun. So,
Well,
my opinion on that.
I think that it's not really about pitting them against each other, but one deserves to survive and one deserves to be kind of a fly by night. Like, what do you? I mean, we television and people look at TV to see a reflection of themselves. How often are we seeing
True.
our grandfathers dressed as a grandmother in our lives? It don't need to be seen. It don't need
I've
to be
never
held.
seen
And
that.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it really don't need to be distributed in mass the way that it is, because it's all like, when we think about it on the grand scheme of things, it's already like we already fighting against so much mentally, to the point where half of the black society is half of society is crazy and slow. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, they just
Yes.
dumb us down even more,
Mental
even more.
programming. Mental
That's exactly
programming.
that's exactly what it is, which is,
Mental
I'll do a
programming.
gratuitous plug, Network Space Live, here to unlearn and relearn your mental programming. So please go and like, subscribe, Network Space Live, where you're gonna see a lot of different
Yes.
programming. Hopefully soon we'll have some children's programming so that we can better prepare our youth for what's out there, with even positive affirmations like, it's okay to be a little
Absolutely.
boy. It's okay to be a little girl. Like, you don't have to,
Mm-hmm.
because a little
Yes.
boy likes pink, that doesn't mean that you're a girl on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Because you grew up with
Exactly. It's
all,
just the color that's to you.
just because you grew up, there's a little bit of a delay. I want to tell you that, just so that you don't think I'm interrupting you, because I know it's like feedback. Do you have this playing on two different
Okay.
things?
I
And you're kind of going in and out.
don't.
You're
Let me
definitely
double check everything. I think I start
going out now.
to make sure I exit out of everything.
It's like your audio was kind of going in and out with a little distortion to it. Just want to make sure that you're good over there and I don't lose you. But
Okay.
yeah, man, it's like, if a young boy grows up with all sisters, of course he's gonna probably play with some of her dolls or her kitchen set. That doesn't mean that he's a little girl on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, we we we
You're
can't
right.
placate into this what they're forcing, you know?
You absolutely right. I used to play with my brother's Ninja Turtle dolls, Michelangelo, Donatello, and all of that. And he thought we was warriors, but in my mind, that was just Barbie's little boyfriend. Like that, I mean, that's just the world we lived in. He wanted a playmate, and I did too, and we both made it work. Okay, so we had
Absolutely.
Donatello in a Barbie dream house. I mean, my brother turned out okay, and I think I turned out all right as well. So we can't just, that misconception of only girls wear pink, that we have to get away from that mental, it's like a mental handicap. We have to
Mhm.
stop doing that. We have to promote more healthy things to our children and better options for them. And it goes back to the programming in regards to the TV. You guys sit your kids in front of these TV. We as adults sit in front of these TV and we're consuming all the wrong things. Even if you spent an hour consuming positivity, it'd be better than the 20 hours that you have spent following the shade room, or you watching reality TV, or you trying to keep up with a celebrity lifestyle that you can't even maintain. It's people that took out loans to go to Beyonce's concert, honey. It's people who had kids sitting in their car in the parking lot
Wow.
while they were inside of the concert. Our morals are messed up. And just to be talking about concerts on those wavelengths, when we're listening to the radio, those are the wrong type of hurts. Okay, it's all about sound and frequency, and you're brainwashing yourself, you're polluting yourself, and we don't have that. And that's why I'm glad you brought up Network Space Live, because this is an opportunity for your child to be able to grow. It's an opportunity for you to be able to find some information, whether it's about finance, find some information about mental health, find some information about healthy culinary. There's so many different genres and options, Network Space Live, and I'm happy that we're able to create this, because that's what we need to take back, our mental health and control, in order to move forward. Because if we can't think right, how are we going to plan anything strategically?
Absolutely.
We dumb ourselves down. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely agree. That Beyonce thing is crazy, right? Like how you got your Beyonce got her child on stage performing, and you got yours. They got theirs in the
Beyonce got a
doggone
whole lot
parking
of
lot.
zeros in her bank account too.
For real, for real. It's not a game. And I heard somebody say that big pharma is what's keeping cable television on. So that, I mean, I didn't really go down that rabbit hole, but it's like when you think about that, it's like, come on, big pharma is keeping it on, which automatically should tell you that it's going to lead to some sort of sickness, whether it's mental or
Mental
physical.
health, anxiety, diabetes. Because if I'm watching Pap Ass Chicken all day and I got the jingle going off in my head, where you think I'm gonna be every time I ride past? Ooh, they go McDonald's, they go Pap Ass, they go obesity right there. Okay, if I'm watching stuff that make me sad and depressed, and I'm turned up with these reality TVs, and I'm sitting there and I'm upset going through this emotional roller coaster or whatever they're broadcasting on there, and now I'm sad because I can't live the lifestyle they live. What do you think that's doing to your insides? What do you think that's doing to your mental capacity? Yes, it all ties into one, and now you're getting addicted to these opiate drugs. Now you're dependent on big pharma. It's a great investment for them. Great.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, like I heard that somebody told me that the Statue of Liberty is actually Lucifer. Um, they said that it's supposed to represent freedom, but freedom from what? And they were like, freedom from God. And that just blew my mind. I didn't even want to talk about it anymore because my brain was just going everywhere. And I'm like, you know what? I can see that in so many different ways. You got the light bearer holding the light. You don't know whether it's a man or a woman because them forearms is kind of thick. And it's like, okay, New York is a cesspool right now of just crap. And it's like, man, the Big Apple, folks that took a bite. And it's all metaphorical, but nobody's really thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that took me down a rabbit hole. And I'm like, man, okay, all right. Things are coming into fruition right now, though, in so many ways. You got test grounds. They ain't even hiding the shit no more because they know that they've dumbed down people so much. Most people are gonna do what they're doing now, and that's nothing. And if they want to do something, they don't even have time to because they're chasing a check. They're chasing, they're in the rat race. So
Exactly. You're a part of the assembly line.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important and imperative for you out there. There are solutions. You don't have to chase the rat race. And you don't have to find yourself in no get rich quick scheme or scam because we're going to get into that later, how blockchain coming to shut that down. But there are people out here. Yeah, absolutely. Like everything is tracked. Like y'all, without giving you the rundown of blockchain, is don't find yourself in a chain gang, trying to do things the old way or to get rich quick, cutting corners and stuff. If you want a way to make money, generate income quickly, there are ways to do that. So just
Yeah,
check us out. Join the network space live. We got so many ways to do that.
it's
Not only
important.
generate income, but um, teaching you how to keep it. Um,
Yes, that's the point of it. You can make it, but can you maintain it and keep it? And we show that. You're right. You're right, Neek.
that's why I'm glad you learn it. Like both of our repertoires are expanding, but I'm loving watching yours. You know what I'm saying? I'm just loving it because I can't see myself.
And you
You
know
know what
what,
I'm saying?
Neek?
So,
I have
like,
to share my story and do a testimony. And I think I'm gonna have you interview me, and I'm gonna drop my testimony on Network Space Lab because I got some things to tell.
you do.
I got a story, and I think that everybody want to hear it.
And I think honestly, I think y'all want to hear this too. And I want to say this to the audience. There are people out here, I want to say me included, um, that have been looking for certain things in life. They've been searching and searching and searching, whether it's for a proper business team, whether it's for love, whether it's for, purpose, and you just can't quite get in alignment with it. And even when you feel like you're in alignment, it's like it hasn't manifested physically. Y'all want to definitely come and listen to Isha's story. Like, listen to that. Like this, I'm telling you, it's gonna blow you away. Like just being able to witness it hasn't. Man, like it's just beautiful,
Look,
and it is abundance overflow. Like not just looking on at you like, oh, I wish that could happen for me. Like realizing it is happening for me.
it can.
No, it like literally, it is happening for me. I've just had the door closed. Like the person has been right there the whole time. I just had the door closed and I'm looking all over here, looking all over there, looking forward to look a certain way. And it's like, man, listen, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm sure your story will break somebody else through as well because I've had many breakthroughs within the last 48 hours. I'm telling you. I don't know what's
Yeah, and
going
that's
on with
what
my lights, so I just wanted to say that y'all, my lights is going crazy back there. So, I-
it's our energy, the frequency, baby. It's tune in. Like, okay, I'm not
for
even mad
real.
at you. It's the frequency. I mean, what we're doing is we're transmitting good energy. That's what that is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, let's talk about Burning Man. I don't know if you're familiar with Burning Man. You know what Burning Man is?
No, Burning Man, enlighten me, please.
Okay, so Burning Man is something that goes on in Vegas, and a part of Vegas that's called Black Rock City, which is owned by BlackRock,
Okay.
which BlackRock is owned by Bill Gates, which owns half of the world almost. So Burning
100%.
Man is a place where people go every summer in the middle of the desert. And when I was about to go back in 2011, the level that I was on, there was like, okay, well, it's just a bunch of people that go out there and they do a bunch of LSD and drugs and stuff like that. It's like Woodstock of the desert. Um,
Okay.
so I didn't really go. You know what I'm saying? Um, but the more I've learned about it and seen people come and go every year, I've realized that it's a lot of elite people that go and they teach like what's they don't teach, but they show that you can survive anything. So they go to the middle of the desert and they create these sustainable living patterns and they just obviously they do a lot of drugs and be out there, for I guess a week or so at a time. But this year, what's happened with Burning Man is it flooded out. They flooded it out. So folks are out there in the mud. Um, they can't. They don't have any drinking water. And I'm feeling
Wow.
like yeah, I'm feeling like it's a test ground for something that we don't know what will transpire from this until these people get out of that test ground area and they start to interact with the general public, and I guess we'll see what disease outbreaks or whatever happens from there, because I'm almost
Transpire.
certain that this is a testing ground of some sort, and they're testing some sort of new whatever they have up their sleeve, sort of like Maui um, was a testing
The
ground.
fire, the zapping incident. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. You read about that or seen that? I'm sorry, I'm chasing
Yes.
mosquitoes with my eyes right now.
No, you're totally fine. One thing is I am tired. It seems like every month or every couple of weeks before that month marker, there's something going on, some type of catastrophe, some type of disaster. It's just a fluctuation of it just going on. And I'm like beyond tired of the
You're going
version.
out. You're going out again.
I've learned a lot about the mouth.
We didn't get
Can
that
you hear
last
me?
part. Yeah, we didn't get that last part. You say you're tired of it and what?
I'm just tired of like the government, whomever is doing this. I can't even say the government, whoever is doing this. I'm tired of them acting like we're slow. It's not a coincidence that every month there's a disaster or some type of catastrophe that's happening. You know, at first it was the Maui thing. Now it's the Burning Man, and then it was first all over Canada. We are not slow. Even if we don't collectively come together and fight you guys, we're noticing that things are happening around us. You just have to open your
Mhm.
eyes and see. Sorry, I'm getting news links. But yeah, I haven't heard any of that extra news because I've just like been studying. So this whole little like flood out thing is just beyond what I can comprehend right now.
It's still children missing in Maui too. Um, and I find that interesting. So there we go.
Yeah, and I remember a while ago there was children. What about the girls on that plane? Whatever happened to the girls on those planes? There's
What
always
girl?
a large group of kids. This was so long ago. I want to say in between, like, it could have been like about 5 to 7 years ago. It was a while ago. It was some girls in Africa. I forgot what they were doing or what they were traveling for, but the whole group of those schoolgirls came up missing.
Hmm.
And I've been looking
You
for
said
them.
they
I have
from
followed the
Africa?
story. Yeah, they were from Africa.
Okay.
Yes. Came up
Interesting.
missing. It very much so. And where did the plane go? And that's why when a flight 88 came out with the missing people on this plane, I'm like, well, y'all haven't even found the other folks. Not that I was concerned. No plane crash. These kids just came up missing. Years passed by, and now no one knows what's going on. Now here we are in Maui, a fire breakout, and now we got what was it, like 1,000 kids? How many kids came up missing in Maui? I could have
They
exaggerated
don't
the
even
numbers.
no. It's gone from 1,000 to however many, but what they said, they haven't given us an account. Apparently if you ask Siri on your phone, um there was a like shootout between the local police and the United States Marines recently, because the Marines found the local police department burying bodies in the forest out there, that were
Mm-hmm.
unaccounted for. So they haven't accounted for, like they haven't given an official, this is how many children are missing. And if you watch the drones, like the area is not that big. It's not hard to say who's missing and who's not. You know what I'm saying? But they did say that like half of the children that were supposed to enroll in school this year didn't. They didn't show up. So it's just unfortunate that I feel like we're failing our children, as a
Absolutely.
whole, as a society. Sort of like I feel like the generation before us failed us as a whole, as a society. It's almost like each generation, because they want to give us something that they never had, they fail us a little bit more because they don't know the value. Like, they don't know the cost. They know the cost of giving us what we never had, right? But they don't know the
Hmm.
value that's lost in in doing that, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
each generation is just is it gets weaker and weaker, in my opinion, and to the point where I just feel like this generation that's coming up underneath us, like, we are truly failing them as a whole society. And um I don't know what they're going to think about us when they get older. You know what I'm saying? Like, us now, we're grown. We're still at a place, no matter how much our individual parents have done for us, we're still at a place where we got to
Hmm.
start from scratch. You know, over half
Absolutely.
of us, even if our parents owned a home, or if our grandparents owned a home, somebody in between and sold it and fucked up the church's money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I can attest to that.
we still are in a situation where something is just not sticking together. So that brings me to our title, the importance of relationship and building community and business. Sometimes relationship is not family, you know, but it's
Mm-mm.
definitely necessary. Like, I've done this before you broke through, and like, before I witnessed your breakthrough and it allowed me to break through. I was doing this alone, and saying, and thinking that I had to do this on my own. You know what I'm saying? Just in complete isolation because my family's not on one accord. Like, it's alcoholism, you got backbiting, you got people who thinking they up here and losing out, and it's like, certain people don't. I don't want to be involved in that BS. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I wash my hands of it, and then
Yeah.
it's like, when you meet people other than you. Up until this point, I've met people, and it's like, we can do business, and then after business is nothing. You know what I'm saying? But we need people that's with us through thick and thin, like family. Like, we have to. It's up to us to create our families now, and family is
That
something.
is a fact.
Yeah, yeah. Like, family is something that's not what we've been taught. We've been taught what a nuclear family is: husband, wife, children. You know what I'm saying? Family is
That
literally,
ain't enough.
it ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? It ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we need uncles, we need aunties, we need, godparents. We need the village. The village is
A
missing, you know?
village.
So I'm definitely glad we are expanding and creating this village, this network space live village. Like, y'all, if you don't see the value now, you will very soon. And I'm excited to be a part of it, myself. But yeah, man, like, I just feel like we're failing our children nowadays. Like, we continuing to send them to these people's schools, and it's not much we can do. I mean, I can do about it. I don't have children, and then it's not much I can kind of
Right.
criticize my family members for sending their children off to school, because what are they gonna do? Leave them with me? I'm all the way out here in another country. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I got to be
Right.
able to offer a solution rather than just criticize. So that's
Absolutely. And it goes back to the tribe. Like, we have to start finding not only our own way, but we have to find people that align with that. Okay.
mhm.
Like, I found my tribe and my extended family, we're not blood related, but there's so much loyalty, trust, and building way more than what I could experience in what we feel like is our traditional family household.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it goes back to what Langston Hughes says: it takes a village to raise a child. It takes an even bigger village for us to maintain each other within
Mm-hmm.
our selves. We need
That's
somebody. We need to collectively come together and find like-minded people to go against the cause. Because if all hell break loose, what, you got a single family household that's gonna fight a battle? I'd rather have my village and my men and my women and my army behind me in that one village versus a single family household. That doesn't make sense to me. We're able to build more collectively. Nika be great with networking and a whole slew of other things. Me, I'm the healer. I'm the one that put things together. I do great with like secretarial mode, banking, all of that. Everybody have their own craft. Somebody with building. Somebody else may be good, but together we all play a role. It's like a machine that functions well. So it does take a village. And I
mm-hmm.
think
Oh,
that people really need to work on finding their kinfolk.
yeah, yeah, like a well-oiled machine. I feel like we are starting to operate like that. Just finding out what everybody's strengths and weaknesses are. And what I love most about us is the women in our village are so uplifting. We push our men up. Like I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like um just
Yeah.
push them up and push them out because
All of
I
them.
mean, they if you think about it in like a basic sense, they are the bronze, they are the brute, they are the first line, they are like the Marines, the first line of defense. They're the bullet stoppers,
Yes.
so that we are protected. So we are supposed to not only make them as powerful as possible, but push them to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, this is what our power looks like. It's almost like showing your muscles to, somebody that's trying to fight you. Like, look, we got big muscles over here. You might not want to mess with us. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So,
Okay.
um,
Period.
yeah, yeah, it's fun though. I'm enjoying this a lot right now. I gotta say I didn't enjoy the journey, like the tilling and the weeding out process, the betrayal process of, trying
Hard work.
out people and backstabbing and all of that, all the pain and the toil and all of that stuff it took to get here. But
Yeah.
all of that is a
It's
testament
worth
to the
it.
wisdom that we have now when it comes to figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and what's next. Excuse me. Um,
And
let's see.
you are absolutely right.
As far which part? Because I kind of rambled a little bit.
You
Right?
was
You
right
talking
about
about?
like uplifting the men and how
Oh
that's
yeah.
important, and them being our first line of action. That's important for us because right now it goes back to that single family home. You thinking about one man, my man, my man, my man, right? Isn't it like the new little term for
Mhm.
women right
Mhm.
now? In our tribe, in our village, it's about all the men. It's not me just individually uplifting my man in my relationship. It's my tribe. Every man in my tribe, your man ain't better than ours. Okay, your
Right.
man ain't
Right.
stronger. I'm gonna tell all of them, grand risings, you got this. You gonna conquer it, king. All the kings in our tribe will hear that from me. I'm gonna support all the kings in our tribe. Okay, and we gonna do it collectively as women. And guess what? We're gonna grow and build, love. We're gonna grow and
I can't
build.
listen. I gotta share this tidbit with you because I have a gun trainer. He has his own gun range. Um,
Oh my God,
I'm
this is
so
good.
excited about this one because I'm like I want like that's what I've always wanted was just to be like a huge softie. But unfortunately I grew up around a lot of bitch ass niggas, which which bred me into being this hybrid of masculine energy where I've had to be more brute and I've had
Protection.
to stand up, you know what I'm saying, a lot more than I've
Mm-hmm.
wanted to. And I'm just
Protection.
like, every time I think about this, it gives me goosebumps and butterflies because I'm like, where did you come from?
Yes, yes. Where you can put a real man in front of you to
You know
lead,
what
and
I'm
it's okay.
saying?
It's like, "Ooh, I can trust
It,
you with the reins. You're doing such a great job."
not only that, but you can train all of the men here so we can, all of the men can be, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh,
Yeah. Don't it feel
boy,
good?
life
It
is
feels good.
amazing right now. It's absolutely amazing. So that's just a little bit what's going on.
I like
We
it.
definitely have a trainer, has his own business, can license and certify you for, self-defense when it comes to guns, and gun training, gun safety. Um, and yes, I'm so excited about that. And what I wanted to say is one self-defense thing. I want to say this to the parents here is to get your children in Krav Maga. Krav Maga. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. KRAVMAGA, because that's a self defense technique that I feel like once they master that, you can disarm
Mhm.
people with guns, and it's an Israeli self defense training technique, and obviously if the they are um, Zionists, Israeli Zionists, then you got to know you got to know how evil your enemy is, and you got to be able to go there within yourself. I got a little
Mhm.
story I
Mhm.
want to tell, just a small
Ooh, go
story.
ahead. Story time.
I'm out here in the third world country, right? Um,
Mhm.
First of all, before I start the story, I want to say this was my fault. Like, I knew better. However, I wasn't thinking. So I wore a gold chain to the downtown area, and I had gotten all of my belongings that did all my shopping for my herbs and everything like that. And when it was time for me to get in the taxi, a gentleman snatched my chain. Now, before this happened, I'm having the time of my life. It's a beautiful day. Spirits are high, positive energy. Everything's going amazing,
Mhm.
abundance flowing in, nothing bad. So, I'm knowing that I'm not attracting bad stuff. So, the boy snatched my chain. And
Okay.
immediately I'm not gonna say I blacked out because I remember everything. It's almost like it happened in slow motion. Like I pretty much bear hugged him so he couldn't go nowhere and wrapped my arms around his shirt. And we like rolling all around. We knocking over people fruit stands and their little marketplace area. Long story short, he ends up shaking loose from me, kicking me in my shoulder and running. I don't feel any of that. I jump up. I know I got two knives on me. I jump up and let's see if I have it with me. I do not. Doggone it. But anyway, I jump up,
With
start
Rambo.
chasing. Yeah, I jump up and start chasing this man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where I'm chasing him to. Um, but I'm committed to, first of all, you're not going to just violate me. Second of
Fact.
all, you're not just going to take something from me without me fighting for it, right? So I'm chasing this guy, chasing this guy, chasing this guy through, like, the market area is getting a little more like desolate, where it's like no market people, but it's
Mhm.
just like huts or whatever.
Okay.
And I'm looking around for him. I don't see him. Next thing you know, I see him come from under like a little whatever it is, a stand, a table, and it's like the end of one of my knives is like a poker, and the poker is for, if it's designed for, if you're in a car and the car gets submerged underwater,
Oh,
you're supposed to
break.
hit to what break the windshield, right?
Mhm.
All right, so I take that and I like jab him in his bone in his neck, right? Because that's all. It's like I kind of fell into him. You know what I'm saying? This nigga thought I stabbed him, right?
Sorry.
And like four men come around me and they like grab me, they grab him, grab each arm and they grab him and they're like, what's going on? What's going on? He's like, oh, I never take nothing from her. I never take nothing from her. Me never know she's so crazy, yada yada yada. And I'm just looking at him like I'm not saying nothing because I don't want them to know that I have an accent, that I'm not from there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, okay, I'm in this desolate area. They could easily kill me, but not without me killing one of them first. And right now they got my arms. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm breathing hard, like, you know what I'm saying? So the man was like, ma'am, you can't juke him. You can't juke him because by this time I done pulled, you know, pulled out the knife part of my knife, and they're like, you can't juke him. We can't let you kill him right here. You're gonna go to jail, yada yada yada. And jail is like whatever. I'm thinking, I'm not going to jail. I'm gonna kill him. And I'm gonna jump on the next thing smoking up out of here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying nothing still. So they walk us both back to where it happened. Because like I said, we ran a little ways. They walk us both back to where it happened, and come to find out, my chain is right there where he snatched it at, like on the ground. I'm saying all that to say, like, you gotta know your line. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, if I was a criminal, I would have taken the chain, made you follow me into this desolate area, and fucked you up in that desolate area. He wasn't smart, in my opinion. But when I got home, not only was
Dumb.
I thankful to be alive, but I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried because I'm like, yo, first of all, it was my fault. Second of all, I didn't know that I was that crazy. That was like, I didn't know I could get that dark, going from the most beautiful, spectacular day of damn near my life or time of my life to just I'm willing to kill this motherfucker. You don't understand. Like I was ready to kill that like on the spot. If it wasn't for those four gentlemen that came and
Mm-hmm.
held both of us, he would have been dead or I would have been dead. And I knew that within my soul. So when I got home, all I could do was cry, you know? And I'm saying all that to
Right.
say, you got to know your enemy. You got to know your enemy and you got to know how dark they willing to go and you got to know whether you willing to go that dark within yourself. Cuz if you're not, then you might as well not even
Okay.
fight them. Just give up. You
Ugly.
know what I'm saying? Just roll over because it's or build up that fortitude. You know what I'm saying? It's one or the other cuz it's a losing game. And I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but a lot made a lot more sense after that incident when it came to not only knowing my enemy, but knowing how dark I'm willing to go within myself, like for real. It was so much I thought about after that because it's like, yo, it would have been so easy to kill this man. Like I still wanted to kill him after he did it, but I noticed like in America, it's easy to just kill another person that look like me, especially with a gun. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to pull a trigger. There's nothing involved. You know what I'm saying? When you stab somebody, you feel their sweat, you feel them jerk. You know what I'm saying? You feel all of that. And
Mm.
the fact that I was made whole after the incident, I still had that I want to kill him inside of me. But as I thought about it on the ride home, I'm like, that man get to live because technically nothing was taken from me. He tried,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And he failed. So it's not it's he's not really my enemy. He's a victim of the system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hope he was able to learn from this experience with that little poke and that little jab you gave him. Hopefully, the next time he won't think that because you're a woman or maybe he was a little bit taller than you. Even if it was just the inch, he feel like he can take advantage of you. Maybe he'll think the next time he try to steal from somebody and run off.
Well, maybe hunger keeps you from thinking. Maybe being trapped in the system keeps a person from thinking. Maybe ignorance keeps a person from really thinking. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he don't know how to think because he I mean, one of his eyes was like grayed out, like he was blind. Like who knows? He could who knows what kind of situation mentally this person was
So
in. You know
you
what I'm
found a one-eyed bandit?
I don't know if it was like after the incident, it was funny because I'm like, yo, I done turned into doggone Charleston White out here poking pig poking people. I'm like, yo, that shit was funny after it died down, but in the moment it was like, yo, like you really willing
Traumatic.
to it was kind of traumatic because you feel a person like if you got a genuine love for yourself, you got a genuine love for people, you know, and the way that I love
Yes.
myself, I
Yes.
love others. So something
Hmm.
that hurts me, I know how I react and respond to it. So when I hurt him, I knew when I was hurting him because I saw how he was reacting and responding to it, you know? And when
Hmm.
actually got a chance to look at him in his face and see that, this man don't even look like he all the way there mentally. I saw he was just another victim as
Right.
well, and he was scared as
Mm.
he couldn't have had much wits about him. He dropped the daggone thing on the spot. You know what I'm saying? And ran for his
Right.
life. I thought he was running with the loot. This motherfucker done dropped the loot and ran for
Run
his
from
life.
you.
You know what I'm saying?
He was running
Like,
from you.
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So,
you picked the wrong one on the right day.
hey yo, I felt so bad for him at the end of the day, and it's like, why do I feel bad? I feel bad. It started with
Cause
them
you a
feeling,
good person.
but he still would have died. You know what I'm saying? A good person don't stop me. I'm a good person because I
That
made
doesn't
peace with the
mean
fact.
anything.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're
That made
right.
you a good person because even though he hurt you and caused some trauma that you won't ever forget, you still had empathy for him. That's what
Mhm.
makes you a good person. You ain't do it. You weren't boastful and like F him and that's what he get. No, you actually felt bad. You're thinking about his mental capacity. You're thinking about the status that he lived in. You understand what I'm saying? You're thinking about how he grew up. And I know in the back of your mind, you probably thought of so many different ways you could have educated him and saved him versus him taking you. That's what makes you a good person. That one moment of you caring in your darkest, most frightful moment about the person who offended you or who
Yeah.
caused by or try to cause bodily harm is what I'm saying. That's what makes you a good person. That's how you differentiate that. That's the difference between those two. Good
Yeah.
person, bad person. You shed that light there. So I'm proud of you, even though that was traumatic and you had to go through that. Just that thought process of caring afterwards.
And just knowing that I won't hesitate in the event that my life um
Hell
is
yeah.
is threatened. You know what I'm saying? That made me a little more confident in myself. Like, you know what?
Yes.
I got this
I'm
life thing
badass.
right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I got this life thing right now. But it's like what I attracted right after that was a gunman. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay,
Okay, now you
maybe
got
I
your
had
own
to
real. Like I need real protection. There you go.
and the universe delivers. And it's like maybe I had to cross that hurdle because all my life I'm not gonna say I've been a pushover, but my like I remember being a little kid. One little girl, she was way I was like big for my age. People used to say I'm big for my age, so I was probably like 8 or 9. One of my little friends, we used to play in the sandbox together. She threw sand in my face, and I went home and cried because it's like she was so much more little than me. I couldn't see, so I just cried. You know what I'm saying? My mom, my brother, oh no, you're not gonna cry, da 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 da. So I went outside and there was like, hit her back. And I just pushed her with one arm and she flew up against the door and fell and started crying, and I felt bad about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's
I
like,
got a similar story to that. That's crazy you say that.
what
I
happened?
was 5 years old when I had my first fight. I had got out of church and I was playing with this girl that I had went to church with. And in Chicago, we have what's called gangways. And basically what that is, it's a little trailway in between two properties, two homes, where
Hmm.
you can leave from the front to the back, but it's not connected to their backyard. It's like an alleyway in between two homes. That's what
Okay.
we call a gangway. So we was running in between the gangways, through the back house, through somebody, just in a big circle. So we were tired, we was catching our breath, and the old girl, she was right next to me. She was like, what did I forget to do? I'm like, I don't know. What did you forget? She turned around and slapped the yellow off me, y'all. Oh, I was just standing there holding my face. Don't y'all know that little paint that's like, that's how I was, legit. My cousin, my big cousin, she was bigger than me. She was the one that was stronger than me, and she wasn't afraid of nothing. She rolled up on her bike. You know how you stop your bike with your foot? She
Hmm.
stopped the bike. She was like, Isha, did that girl just hit you? I'm like, yeah. She was like, if you don't hit her back, I'm going to hit you. And I was not about to get hit by my big cousin.
Right.
So before I knew it, I cocked back and I knocked that girl out, and she fell dead on her butt. And when she fell and scraped her knee when she was getting up, I felt so bad. I was going to start crying. I didn't want to cry outside. So I turned around and I ran in the house and I told my granny, I'm like, I didn't mean to beat her up. I'm so sorry. But it just reminded me of what you were just saying.
No, it
I don't know why
sucks
they was.
having a good heart sometimes. You know what I'm saying? For real. Because it's like we feel everything. And it's like motherfuckers can go out here and just act ignorant and don't feel nothing afterwards. It's like I'm feeling your ignorance. I'm feeling
Yeah,
their despair. I'm feeling all, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude.
that's facts. Facts,
For
what you
real.
just said, because I never understood how I could feel. Now I know now, because it's my
Hmm.
life calling. I'm an empath. I get that. Being a kid, 5, 6 years old, you don't understand your own emotions and feelings. And just to be feeling somebody else's stuff, it was a lot to take in, but I've learned how to control that a little.
And that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
We're
Like,
the
as far as the children coming up under us, we can't fail them when they have moments like that. You know, like
Mhm.
I don't ever remember somebody giving me a hug and consoling me whenever, you know, something was affecting me. You know what I'm saying? Like something odd, like me crying because I hurt my friend. I don't ever remember somebody saying, I understand how you feel, let it out, or just, walking me through those emotions and allowing me to feel them, you know. So growing up, it was like, okay, cut that shit off, and that breeds a little bit of mental health issues as well, because it's like, damn, now
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel, like
You're not
how.
allowed to feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the reinforcement of genuine community and community building when it comes to business and relationships is important, because sometimes in business you're not so you got to cut those emotions off. So if I'm too nice when it comes to negotiations and closing deals and stuff like that, I get to bring in
Right.
another one of my community members to go ahead and handle that part. If I'm good at making people open up and feel warm and butterflies, that's when I come in. You know what I'm saying? And let the closer come and do the closing part. And it's like everybody has a position to play. You can't do it all by yourself, because that'll take you through the ringer when it
Yes.
comes through emotions and things like that. So I'm just glad to be in this space and to have passed the necessary tests of the universe to get me to this space. For real. Any final thoughts before we close this show? I can't hear you, Ish. Can you hear me?
No, I am I'm just happy to be here. Heed what we're saying. It's okay to find a tribe. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to receive gifts. So just
Oh no, you're
keep that in
going
mind,
and out.
especially when you're building your tribe and your community. And tune into information.
All right, so we didn't really get that very clear, but I definitely got the gist of what she was saying. Y'all go check out Big Ish on Network Space Live, Big Ish _ the Great on all social media platforms. It's been another wonderful, wonderful installment of Black Space Live. We got Flintstones and Jefferson's not Jefferson's. Why do I keep saying Jefferson? Flintstones and Jetsons Part 3 coming up very, very soon. Y'all gotta stay tuned for that, because you know September is one of those months where the S&P 500 is going down. Then you got BRICS going down. Then you got, it's just a turbulent time in the market. So y'all want to stay tuned for the third installment of Flintstones and Jefferson. Here I go again. Flintstones and Jetsons. Yeah. And make sure y'all go like and subscribe to YouTube, Network Space Live, and Network Space Live on Facebook. You're going to see a lot of information there as well. Until next Sunday. Peace.